Here we go. Okay, so what's your name?
My name is this recording?
Yeah, just making sure it's recorded. Yeah, what's your name?
My name's Thom Bee.
Fabulous. Where are we?
We are currently at the Edinburgh Fringe on day 23.
Right, fab.
Yeah.
And
yeah, great.
And how would you describe yourself as a performer?
Well, I mean, I'm part of a double act, so that's always a big part of mine. We do solo stuff as well, but not as much, although I am doing a solo show next year. Basically, we're kind of like a weirdo alternative comedy double act. We rely a lot on improv, we rely a lot on niche references, and I think the thing that we're trying to do more is like, we're more the face of it, as opposed to like it's us, and we're doing the shows and we're doing that, but we bring in as many people as we can, we collaborate as much as we can, and like DIY it a bit, basically.
And what is it that interests you about like double acts rather than solo comic performance?
Well, for one, well, I'm from a circus background, so I worked in a double act before this, so I was just like, that's kind of how I know it. I like the idea of setting up jokes and someone else doing it. Me and Andrew, nobody in the band is our double act name. We're a slightly different double act because it's recently described to us by another friend, and I love it. Most double acts kind of like have your stern straight man and kind of like your bumbling psychic, whereas our thing is like, I'm a very giggly straight man with this like deadpan companion, and that's really cool. And it's just like, above all, you've got backup with it. It's like you're co-writing, it's a collaborative process. You're not on, comedy's fucking lonely. So like, you're always on the road with someone else, someone that you know, someone you trust, and if it's a bad gig, you've got each other's back. If it's a good gig, you raise each other. So it's just, it feels more, it's more my bag being a double act because I've created something with someone else as opposed to the arrogant thing of just like, this is my thing.
So you said that you think comedy is quite lonely. What do you think that comic performance and loneliness go hand in hand?
I don't think they necessarily go hand in hand because we have a community in this industry, and it's really nice. It feels like there's too many of us, but there's actually not that many of us. So it's like everybody gets on, well, not everybody, but people get on, people back each other up. You're always at gigs with other people, and you're always hyping each other up as best you can in that way. But that doesn't account for like the hours of road time, or the metrobuses, or the trains, or the lonely hotel rooms. So I think it's part of the parcel, but I don't think it is necessarily an overall thing.
And do you think that loneliness is conducive or hampers comic process?
I think a bit of both, because you can let it get on top of you, and it becomes very hard to write, it becomes very hard to create, because you're just kind of like bogged down by the loneliness. But also, I mean, when you're lonely, there's less distractions. So, you can still write, you can still do all of that. So, I think it's possibly conducive to comic process, but I think it hampers overall mental health.
So, and if some of the negative aspects of comedy were starting to affect an act's mental health, whose role do you think it is to highlight that to that act?
That is a tough one. It's hard because if it was anything else, it'd be your friends or it'd be your colleagues, like, hey, I think you're having a bad time, are you alright, you can talk to me anytime. And as comedians, we are good at that, we are good at noticing when other people do it, and we are good at reaching out, and that should be our role, but it's often when the person has expressed it themselves rather than actively going out, because I mean, all comedians are a little bit broken, so it feels, it's therefore weird and a little awkward to like go out and kind of say, hey, you alright, because sometimes you're dealing with your own shit as well. But I think primarily it should be other acts and also people close to that person outside of comedy.
And do you think that comedy attracts broken people, or do you think that comedy with its loneliness breaks people?
I think it's a bit of both. I think it takes a slightly unwell mind to decide that this is what they want to do. Not necessarily broken, and I think comedy can break a lot of people, but comedy does attract arrogance and people who appear to be bitter of life, which are often the people who are masking something a little bit deeper. So I think it breaks that shell eventually. But I mean, generally, like, we're all growing up on stage basically proclaiming we're the funniest person in the room. So, you know, there's not something right going up there if that's something that you believe you can do from the get-go.
And do you think that in order to successfully inhibit comic performance, do you think that in doing that you potentially set yourself up for some of these like mental health issues that you're mentioning?
Yeah. I've had a couple of mental health hiccups over the last year, and some of those were directly linked to comedy, because I was just like, because I mean, a lot of us have day jobs, so it's like we're working our day job, and then we're getting straight in the car, straight on a train, we're caning kids, we're getting back at like 1 or 2 in the morning, minimum sleep, and then we're going into that. So yeah, comedy does bring it on massively.
And what is it that makes you want to, even though there are these like massively negative sides of it, what is it that makes you want to continue pursuing that rather than say poetry or circus, or what is it about comic performance that makes you want to continue doing it?
A bit about comic performance is that its baseline is to bring joy. So you're providing laughter, and you're giving people that feeling, which when you're feeling shit yourself, making someone else laugh is amazing. And secondly, I feel that especially now, there's a lot of comic performance which is about a very important issue, and it's made relatable through that, whereas something like poetry it can go in comical, like, because poetry is part of comic performance as well, but with pure comic performance you can address these issues that need to be addressed socially and mentally and everything, but you can doll it up with a little bit of jovialness, and you can make it relatable, because there's nothing more relatable than someone laughing with you because they feel the same thing.
And you mentioned about like bringing joy to others and bringing joy to yourself. So how much do you think performing comedy is for yourself, and how much of it do you think is for someone else? About
50-50. It's like I mean, again, as part of a double act performer, my favourite thing to do is make Andrew crack on stage. Like, and just like, made you laugh, you motherfucker. And it's like, it's really, really fun, and I love that. So I think a lot of it is about bringing joy to others, because that's the point. Like, that's literally about, it's in the job description. Not your fucking moment. Get out my shop.
Okay, so this will probably be my final question, I think. So if someone said to you, in order to, whatever your kind of goal in comedy is as a comic performer, you could have that in exchange for the kind of darker aspects of comic performance making your like mental health worse, is it worth that trade-off?
Not necessarily, but my goals in comedy are very much, I believe that my main goal in comedy is to just make it my living. That's all I want. I don't care about TV, I don't care about any of that. I just want to be making a living, and I want to be doing it with my vision of it. So I want to be doing it with the weird shit that we're doing, which is really niche, or it is about mental health and it is about this, but you know, bringing people in and kind of like, you don't want to say cult status because it's wanky, but like, you know, I want to make a living but still like not have to sacrifice what I do. And if I can do that, my mental health will be a lot better, because I'm not working 3 or 4 jobs to do it right now. I think that the end game is a lot better than the current one, which is why I also think a lot of pro comedians seem happier than a lot of middle and opens.
And once comic performance became your living, do you think that would change your enjoyment of it, or your approach to it?
Yeah, it would. Because circus used to be my hobby, and then it became a living, and I didn't have a hobby anymore. So I needed to learn something new, and I'm a better equipped for that now because I've had that experience. But I think it would change the enjoyment just because I'm just going out there and just doing it. And it's like, and then you can always come up to Edinburgh where it's to do your art and put that out there. But in terms of like the weekends and the weekday stuff, I'd just be doing the same stuff over and over again, which it's fine. That's the job. But I just need to make sure that it would be something like this where I can be like, this is fine, even though Edinburgh is a stressful time of year. It's like Christmas, or it's like Christmas because everyone's here and you're very happy to see everybody, but also you fucking hate half of them, and everyone's arguing.
Nice, thank you very much.
No worries.